passengers, and welcome to the Midnight Train, America's second favorite podcast, where we bring the dark to light, where history never dies, and where listener discretion is always advised. We dive into, make fun of, and joke about the creepy and unsolved mysteries of the world, all while bringing you as much information on each topic as we can find. Yes, we are a comedy podcast, or so we like to call ourselves, and listen, some of the stuff, it can get pretty dark. So if you're not into that and you don't think that stuff kind of goes together, not a big deal. We get it. Give it a chance. Cool. All right. But for everyone else out there, welcome aboard. All right. I am your host, the conductor of the cryptic Jonathan Sayer. And with me today is Mr. Moody.
Don't you fucking forget it.
Wow. Right off the rip. Yep. Every time. We don't even get 60 seconds in.
Starting off strong.
And we have a special guest coming back in here. It's my oldest son. It's Logan. What's up, buddy?
What up?
Don't you fucking forget it.
Don't you fucking forget it. So listen, for upcoming Patreon, we got coming on here. Actually, quite a few things. We have some upcoming executions because I love talking about those.
Okay.
We have I want to do actually the history of funerals. I want to actually discuss that because of what I've had to deal with recently.
Will we find out who put the fun in funeral?
Yes.
Oh, nice. All
yes.
right,
yes. We will most definitely find out who did that. So get over there and sign up for Patreon. All the bonus episodes and stuff in there. Patreon.com/The Midnight Train Podcast. Or just go to The Midnight Train Podcast.com.
So you said Hotcast.
Yes, Hotcast. It's Hotmail. Hotmail.com. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Also, we do have the that fun bonus ready to go too about weird sexual things.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah.
For all you deviants out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we also have one based off of is that what you're talking about? Based off the cryptid thing we just did?
Yes.
So
that's what brought it up. It was the dildo monster.
Yep, there you go. The new shirt coming soon. Oh, that's right.
What's
so, all right.
The Yukon Beaver Eater?
Yeah. Someone actually said if we don't get those shirts, you guys are failing. I'm like, on it. Yeah, those shirts will be available soon. So you can get all that stuff too over at the midnighttrainpodcast.com. All right. Enough of that business stuff. We're done talking about it. Let's just dive into this thing. Let's turn down the lights, adjust our seats, grab a drink, and let's get trying to think what would be the best. Oh, I know.
Lucky.
I know. We're gonna get Oh yeah.
We're gonna get full of ass.
Yeah, we're going to Mexico. No, I'm just kidding.
Bros.
So let's get into this thing. But first, here's a toast to all you beautiful motherfuckers.
Oh, snap. Cheers, bitches. Cheers, bitches.
Cheers to you.
I was going to say Logan's going in dry, huh? All right.
Always.
Ew. What? Come on now. Get it?
I forgot how hard this goes.
Oh, it go hard.
That means you don't listen to the show, you asshole.
All right. So before we started here, Logan actually said that he hasn't really seen a lot of movies. So he said he's actually seen the movie, the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Is that true?
Yeah. It's an old Western. I don't really remember too much about it, but I watched it on like what it was called, like the Sundance Channel or like TMC channel or whatever.
Sundance is where they have like all the independent movies and shit.
Yeah, they have all the indie movies and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's based off the Sundance Film Festival. Film Festival.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, the fifth.
Well, if you haven't seen it, in the 1969 movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which features Paul Newman and Robert Redford as the iconic outlaws, the film culminates in a dramatic gun battle in Bolivia in 1908.
That's a great start to a cast right there, dude.
Oh yeah, dude, Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like
they were just the manliest men in what the 60s. Yeah, they was just insane.
And that's like all you got to say to get people to be like, yeah, I'll watch it. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Like if someone's like, dude, this movie's really good, and those are the 2 stars, you're just like, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. So the ambiguous ending of the movie has sparked much debate and speculation. Many, including members of Butch Cassidy's own family, assert that the real-life Butch Cassidy, known for his affable and charming personality as the leader of the Wild Bunch, may have actually lived for many years following the legendary South American showdown. This enduring mystery has added layers of intrigue and complexity to the legacy of these infamous figures in history, and we are going to talk about them. Oh, word. So now, have you seen this movie?
Yes, long time ago. I haven't seen it in a while, but I've definitely seen it.
Okay, so you guys know the premise, right?
Yes.
Okay, and if you guys out there listening right now have not seen the movie, it's great, and hopefully by the time we're done with this, it's going to make you want to go watch the movie. Okay, but we're going to talk about the movie at the end of this as well in the movies. So,
yay!
So Robert,
the top Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid movies, and it's only one because it's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance
we'll
Kid.
talk about it for sure. So Robert Leroy Parker, famously known as Butch Cassidy, was born on April 13th in 1866 in Beaver, Utah territory.
Hey.
Yep. It always comes back. It's crazy. He was the eldest of 13.
Tuberculosis.
He was the eldest of 13 children born to English immigrants Maximilian Parker and Anne Campbell Gillies. Yeah, his name was
Maximilian Parker.
Back then, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, when Robert was 8, his family homesteaded a large ranch outside of Circleville, Utah. Here, he became an expert cowboy and was a playful older brother to his younger siblings. The Parker family were not the most devout members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but it is believed that they may have been involved in an illegal underground railroad sheltering polygamous Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints families from the U.S. government.
Jeez.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like off the rip, dude. We're like, fucking a minute into this, and already his family is like harboring,
out of curiosity, hold on before you go on, and you can cut this out if you need to. Normally on my thing, when we're recording, the time is recording, and it is not doing that. Are we recording?
We are recording. I'm not recording video. I'm recording just audio.
Okay. Okay. Because it's still it zeros, and I'm like,
I was curious about that too.
Yeah. And so that's what I've been doing, because since we don't post video, I was just like, what the hell's the point in doing that? So we just use this as our kind of our interface so we can do what we're doing.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, dude.
Okay.
I don't want to get like 45 minutes into it and be like, oh, fuck.
No, not at all. Okay. So give a pause here and. Okay. Sorry, I have to do that so I know where to cut. So both families had joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints while still residing in the United Kingdom. Okay, so that's where they came from. Maximilian Parker, just 12 years old at the time, arrived in Salt Lake City in 1856 with his family as Mormon pioneers. Anne Gillies, this is Mama, on the other hand, was born and raised in Sunderland, Northeast England, before immigrating to the U.S. with her family in 1859 at the age of 14. The couple tied the knot in July of 1865. And their son, Robert Parker, spent his early years on the family ranch near Circleville. Okay, so they're Mormon people, and they're Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, LDS. So they have their own kind of like set of rules that they abide by. And, it's a whole thing. And you guys, I'm sure everyone out there is familiar with LDS and, the FLDS and all that. I love how there's like crickets and no one wants to say anything about it.
I mean, it's you do what you do.
To each their own, man. To each their own. So while working on a nearby cattle ranch as a teenager, Robert met a man who would change his life forever. This man's name was Mike Cassidy. Cowboy by trade, outlaw, cattle rustler.
Now that makes no sense at all.
Yeah, boy. He was basically he had indoctrinated Robert into the lucrative business of stealing livestock. All right.
Yeah.
So at the age of 18, Robert, probably on the run from crimes committed with Cassidy or alone, left the family home, and this is what he told his mother, quote, "Ma, There's not much here for me. No future. Pay in Utah is low. You know that. Maybe $20 or $30 a month with board, and the board's not much to brag about in most places. There's no excitement around here. I'm not a kid anymore. Got to be thinking about my future. End quote.
How old was he?
At 18 years old.
Yeah, man. Right.
I think you should do that accent more often. That was pretty good.
That's the general. Don't you know about see, he doesn't listen to the show. He doesn't. You can tell.
He doesn't. He has no idea who the general is.
I know he's general pain in my ass.
No, I'm a specific pain in your ass. So in the late 1800s, Robert ventured into a life of Wild West crime, engaging in cattle rustling and various petty offenses. His first brush with the law occurred when he visited a clothier shop in a different town, only to find it closed. In response, he broke into the shop and made off with a pair of jeans and some pie.
I mean,
I like pie.
If you're going to do it, right?
Yeah. But if this gives any kind of like insight into who he was, he left behind an IOU promising to settle the debt on his next visit.
That's pretty sweet.
You know what I mean?
Hear that very often.
Yeah. So, he's like, hey,
look, sorry you were closed. I'll bring the money back.
Right. If you were open, I wouldn't have had to break in. I'm just saying. This
is your fault. You did this.
Perhaps you owe me at this point in time. I expect an IOU next time I come around. So in response, like I said, he left the IOU. So it kind of says something about who he is, So although the clothier pressed charges, Cassidy convinced a jury of his innocence. For the next few years, he worked on ranches until 1884, when he made his way to Telluride, Colorado, supposedly in search of employment, but possibly to deliver stolen horses to certain buyers that were out there. So Cassidy immersed himself in the cowboy lifestyle within Wyoming Territory and Montana Territory before eventually returning to Telluride in Colorado in 1887. There, he crossed paths with a guy named Matt Warner, who was the proprietor of a racehorse. Yeah, Cassidy and Warner collaborated in racing the horse at different venues, sharing in their winnings. Okay, so now he's in the racehorse. Seems legitimate, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. So in 1889, he made his mark in the big leagues by successfully pulling off a daring heist at the San Miguel Valley Bank in Telluride in Colorado with the help of his associates Matt Warner and Tom McCarty. According to Richard Patterson in the magazine Wild West, in the weeks leading up to the robbery, witnesses observed Butch spending countless hours training his horse to remain calm while he executed his swift mount. So like he's going so far as to like train his horse to like be steady when he's like jumping off real quick, or if guns are shot, pew, pew, pew. You know what I mean? Like you're hearing all that going on. You're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? And then he jumps on and just, yeehaw. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm loving this episode, by the way.
Where's the whip, dude? Where's the whip?
I couldn't find the whip.
God damn it.
I was looking for it. I couldn't find the damn thing.
You had one job. Damn it.
Yeah. But I do have.
Now that makes no sense at all.
That's so good.
It's so dumb, but it's so good. So anyway, so he was teaching his horse here. So Butch and his partners went to great lengths to plan the robbery, crafting special leather bags to transport the stolen loot and meticulously plotting an escape route, complete with relay teams of fresh horses. So instead of having a car parked someplace else after you get rid of your car, they had horses.
Yeah.
So this is like this is like the original kind of like, I guess the crash and what do they call that? Crash and grab or grab and whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Smash and grab.
Whatever it's
smash and grab.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's that. So whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. So the thieves made off with approximately $21,000.
Dang. Back then?
Whew. So any idea what that would be worth right now?
$234,612.
You got nothing to say after that.
$712,000.
That's what I said.
Damn. Yeah. That's a good score for anybody who's stealing shit. You know what I mean? So,
or that's really bad inflation on our part.
Well, both. Yeah, both. Yeah. So then they escaped to Robber's Roost, a secluded hideaway in the remote southeastern Utah territory. Okay, so they took off. Robert's meticulous attention to even the smallest details would soon become a defining characteristic of the daring robberies carried out by the infamous Wild Bunch. That's his group. When he became involved in serious criminal activities, Robert wisely decided to change his name in order to shield himself and his family from the repercussions, right? He didn't want the LDS looking down on him because now he's a criminal. So drawing inspiration from his mentor, Mike Cassidy, he chose the surname Cassidy. That's where he came up with that.
So he just fucked that guy then.
Well, he looked up to him, and that guy actually kind of what stemmed his whole fascination.
No, I get that. And then he took his name, so now they're gonna be like Cassidy. Maybe you should go talk to Mike.
Yeah.
See what fucking Mike knows about this.
Yeah, but that's Mike. His name's Butch. It's different.
But I'm just saying, if he's a Cassidy, they're gonna come looking. They'll be like, who's Butch, and how the fuck do you know him?
But I'm saying, like, back then,
I don't know what you're talking about.
But back then, they're gonna pull up on him, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, are you Cassidy?" Be like, "Yeah, sir. We're gonna take you in. Well, which one you looking for? Butch? Oh no, my name's Mike. Okay, sir. You have a good day."
Yeah, right. As soon as he says that he's Cassidy, they're gonna fucking kill him and string him up.
You're just gonna right off the rip, right?
Exactly.
Smart, man. Smart.
You're gonna hear that like the entire show. By the way, I'm just gonna be doing that the entire show.
You never say what your real name is,
right?
Unless you know what's going on.
My name's Adam Moody, sir. Yes.
That's not gonna get you anywhere.
If anything.
That's what I was gonna say. That's gonna make your situation worse. Tell him that, dude.
Right.
For your own sake.
So now, however, he took Cassidy because, he looked up to this Mike guy or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Butch, he didn't actually choose Butch. Okay, quote, "I took up a position at a butcher shop in Rock Springs to keep a low profile for a while." And he confided in one of his friends years later, quote, "Matt Warner thought it would be funny to nickname me Butch, and the name stuck because he was a butcher."
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. This is trivia questions, folks. You know what I mean? Like someone's out there like, how did Butch Cassidy get his name? There you go. You found out. I doubt that'll ever be an actual.
Because that's ever going to be a trivia question.
It's going to be now. All right. So at 1890, Cassidy acquired a ranch on the outskirts of Dubois. Is it Dubois?
Yes, Dubois.
Dubois.
Yeah.
Is it?
Boys.
Because, whatever. We'll just Wyoming. Okay.
It's Du Boise.
That's what I'm saying. So it was located across the state from the infamous Hole in the Wall, a natural geological formation that served as a popular hideout for outlaw gangs, okay, including Cassidy's own, the Wild Bunch, during that era. There are suspicions that Cassidy's ranching activities may have been a front for covert operations, potentially involving the outlaws from Hole in the Wall. And this place is literally called Hole in the Wall.
Makes sense.
As he never achieved financial.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking for it right now because it's got me.
Yeah. Yeah. See if it's still there. Yeah. So he never actually got all the financial success that he was actually looking for as a rancher, but yet he had money. So the ranch was identified by the distinctive reverse E, box E brand on it. So that's what he had on the his brand. So when they dug that little hot thing in the cattle's ass, that's what you would see. Reverse E, box E.
Huh.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah, pretty cool.
So the Hole in the Wall is a remote pass in the Bighorn Mountains of Johnson County, Wyoming.
Ooh.
It says in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Hole in the Wall gang and Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch gang met at the log cabin, which is now preserved at the Old Trail Town Museum in Cody, Wyoming.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you can actually still go visit that.
Yeah, it's there. It's a pass. It's just like
that's badass.
I'm looking at a picture of it. There's like a couple of buildings, like a farm or something.
But you said the cabin's preserved there, right?
But that's in Cody, Wyoming.
Oh,
that's not there.
Okay.
They must have moved it or something.
Gotcha.
In the
early, it was the Hole in the Wall gang consisted of the Logan brothers and Blackjack Ketchum.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for what's his name?
Blackjack Ketchum.
Blackjack Ketchum.
So
how did he get that name, do you think?
He was really good at blackjack.
Yeah, obviously.
And his last name's probably Ketchum.
It'd be great if he was actually a black guy. And you know what I mean? Like, dude, man, I don't know how he got that name. Then you see me
I don't know if this is in your thing, but I'm going to keep this in the back pocket for later.
All right, keep it in there.
There's a cool little tidbit here about.
I got some tidbits for you, buddy. So in the early months of 1894, Cassidy developed a romantic relationship with Ann Bassett, who was a rancher and an outlaw. Oh boy. Ann's father.
She was probably hot as fuck.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine. And I'm saying that in the most
I know you are.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That was probably one surly lady.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So Ant's father was a rancher who conducted business with Cassidy, providing him with fresh horses and beef. During that very year, Cassidy was apprehended in Lander, Wyoming on charges of horse theft and possibly for extorting money from the local ranchers. As a consequence, he was confined in the Wyoming State Prison in Laramie, where he spent 18 months of a 2-year sentence. Subsequently, Cassidy was granted release and a pardon in January of 1896 by Governor William Alfred Richards. Following his release, he briefly engaged in a relationship with Josie Bassett, Ann's older sister, before going back to Ann.
Oh, what a two-timing son of a gun.
Yeah. So according to Josie, the older sister, Cassidy was described as, quote, a big dumb kid who liked to joke. Yeah, that's it. And from everything,
where did he go, George?
Everything that I've read about him, he seems like he's got a big heart, but not the biggest brain. You know what I mean? Yeah. So despite serving time in jail in 1896, Cassidy returned to a life of crime, continuing with his old ways. He was well connected and with a large network of outlaws, including his good friend William Ellsworth Elsie Lay, the infamous Harvey Kid Curry Logan, Ben the Tall Texan Kilpatrick, Harry Tracy, Will News Carver, Laura Bullion, and George Flatnose Curry.
Flat nose.
I'm sorry.
Like it, like literally your nicknames back in the day were just how ugly you were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But my question is, why is Will Carver's nickname News? News News.
Maybe he was the guy that always knew what was going on.
Or he was a loudmouth.
Oh, that could be it too. Yeah.
Read all about it. See what I'm saying? Like, loud.
Maybe he was a newsie when he was a kid.
Yeah, see?
So now together, these fellows and ladies, they formed the notorious Wild Bunch after Cassidy was released from prison in 1896. The gang's name was inspired by the Doolin Dalton gang, also known as the Wild Bunch. So they basically just took another gang's name.
Dude, I want to do it. We got to do it like a bonus or an episode on all these like Old West gangs.
Oh, yeah. That'd be amazing. Write that down. Don't forget it.
All right. I'll
put it down.
I'm going to put it in right now.
Okay. Good job. Thank you. You too. On August 13th of 1896, the notorious group consisting of Butch Cassidy, Lay Logan, and Bob Meeks carried out a daring bank robbery in the town of Montpelier, Idaho. The audacious criminals managed to elude capture as they made away with a substantial sum of approximately $7,000.
It's Montpelier.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, buddy. It's all kinds of shit.
$7,000?
Yeehaw!
So the infamous Butch Cassidy then crossed paths with a fellow named Harry Alonzo Longabaugh. You guys happen to know who that guy is?
Is that the Sundance Kid?
Yay! It's the Sundance Kid.
That's such a better name than his regular name.
Yeah, his name is Harry Alonzo Longabaugh. Yeah, it's so weird. When I first read that, I was like,
hell.
Yeah, I was like, when I first read that, I was like, really? So Harry Longabaugh, also known as the Sundance Kid, was born in 1867 in Montclair, Pennsylvania, to Josiah and Annie G. Longabaugh. He was the youngest of 5 children. When he was 15 years old, he embarked on a journey to the West with his cousin George to assist in settling George's homestead near Cortez, Colorado. Longabaugh found employment as a wrangler at a nearby ranch and honed his skills in buying and breeding horses. In 1886, he left Cortez and began drifting north, taking on various ranching jobs along the way. He eventually found work at the Inn Bar Inn Ranch in Montana Territory, but was laid off due to the harsh winter of 1886 and 1887. And we know what the Inn Bar Inn is, correct? That's Cassidy's brand. That's his place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love how you're like, no. So Longabaugh then traveled to the Black Hills before setting back to seek employment again at Inn Bar Inn. Okay. So in 1887, while traveling across 3V Ranch near Sundance, Wyoming, he was involved in a theft where he took a gun, horse, and saddle from a cowboy. He was later caught.
Why didn't you do the gun sound for the gun? Thank you.
There you go.
God, dude. I don't ask a lot, honestly.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
And I'm fucking high. I need that shit.
Well, he was caught in Miles City, Montana, and faced sentencing by Judge William L. McGinnis, which sounds like
Bill McGinnis.
He's a hard-nosed son of a bitch right there. You know,
Bill Brasky.
Yeah. He just doesn't. He just sounds like my name's William McGinnis, and he just slams his gavel down, but it's not a gavel; it's just the end of his gun. He's just
Old West. Yeah, old Bill McGinnis, the Old West judge, dude. That's not the guy you fuck with.
Yeah. What'd you do now, son? Oh, sir, I just happened to look at a woman down the street. Hang him. You know?
Hang him.
Yeah. Everybody. Hang him.
Hang him.
So it was. So he got an 18-month jail term for this. Okay, so it was during this time behind bars that he took on the name of Sundance Kid. Upon his release, he returned to working as a ranch hand and found employment at the Bar U Ranch in the Northwest Territories of Canada in 1891, which was a prominent commercial ranch at the time. After this, he co-owned a saloon in the Grand Central Hotel in Calgary. But a dispute with his partner led him to return to Montana. There, he secured a position with the Inn Bar Inn again and was involved in the rustling of cattle and horses in both Montana and Canada. So back in the day, in this time here, and which, by the way, have either of you guys ever seen Deadwood?
That sounds very familiar, actually.
It is so fantastic.
We've discussed this.
It's such a great show. But back then, though, like, so your cattle, your livestock, that was your livelihood, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it was really easy to steal them. But if someone...
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they can run after you with a car or something.
Right. Well, I mean, the branding is what basically did it all, right?
Yeah,
but that's also why, like, the the penance for being caught as a horse thief or a cow thief or whatever.
You didn't want to be a horse thief or a cattle rustler, man.
You're dead.
It's like being I don't know, man.
It's like being a child molester nowadays.
I was gonna say it's like I didn't want to say it, so
I'll say it. I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's what it is. It was like it was bad news. Like, you did not do that.
That's crazy.
So back in Montana, he secured a position again with them and started doing some horse and cattle rustling. So Cassidy was gathering a group of like-minded outlaws who shared his penchant for robbing banks and trains.
It's
penchant.
It's penchant. Just like it was Montpellier, not Montpelier.
Yes, I am French. Okay, sorry. So he liked robbing banks and trains, all right? He had a thing for it, if you will, as well as enjoying lively social gatherings, okay? So he was kind of a wild guy.
Who doesn't?
Old Sundance. That, right? Yeah, Sundance he's a guy.
I hate that shit. I just want to stay home.
Same. So during one such celebration, the members of the Wild Bunch and Cassidy's posse, they all dressed up as waiters. And much of Anne, Anne was like super into it. So, and that's the younger sister, by the way. So yeah, I guess they decided to go out one day and go to an establishment, and they dressed up as waiters at the establishment.
That's smart.
Just that's what they did back then, I guess.
Oh, I thought they were trying to rob the place. No, that's weird. That's weird.
No, they just do weird shit. It's crazy. So Ann Bassett humorous particularly
Jesus Christ,
remarked on Cassidy's struggle with the seemingly simple task of serving coffee at the grand party, contrasting it with his seemingly fearless approach to more perilous criminal activities. Okay, so she described the humorous sight of the Wild Bunch giving Butch Cassidy a crash course in serving coffee as a comical example of how even the most intrepid outlaw could be flustered by the demands of etiquette, because these guys were they're ruffians. You know what I mean? So this incident revealed a lighter human side of the outlaws, showing that they even had their moments of, being vulnerable, and, you can make fun of them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was a cool little story where she's just talking like, one time they went out and did. I thought it was a cool story. Whatever.
It's interesting to say the least.
It's kind of stupid though, really.
That makes no sense at all.
Like, I'm not saying you're stupid for including the story, but like
the story itself is stupid.
It's so dumb. Like, that's what they chose. Like,
yeah, like they're ruffians, they're outlaws.
That's what she chose to be like. Yeah, you'll never believe what we did this one time. Like, that's what she tells you.
I served him coffee instead of whiskey. Oh,
Well, no, she was saying that like they've never even served. They couldn't serve the coffee.
I get it
because they didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? So it was more of like
okay, I get that. Okay,
it's like going to Target and wearing a red polo and khakis and just feeling like, oh, the shoes are over there. Oh,
no. It's more like if I took you two over to like, the king or I guess King of England now over there or whatever, and made you guys go in and dress up like they're whatever. Would you know how to act the correct way?
Yeah, kind of, maybe, sort of. I don't know. Pinkies up, right?
No, like I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Listen, Moody, there wasn't much to do back in 1897. All right,
and they couldn't figure out how to serve coffee. All right.
I'm just saying, man.
Are you just saying?
Dude. I don't know.
I just love how this little part is our point of contention right now.
I'm just saying,
like
dude,
the fact that these outlaws dressed up like waiters and didn't know how to pour coffee is our point of contention. That's so funny.
It's not a point of contention. I just think it's fucking dumb.
Okay. Logan's dying over here. Okay. So anyway,
proceed.
So the Wild Bunch with Cassidy in tow here, all right, or leading the gang, should I say? Well, their notoriety started to grow and grow and grow, and they racked up a staggering average of $35,000 per robbery. Okay,
that's a lot of tip money, dude.
That's a lot of tip money, which today would be right around $1,308,620.83.
So that's if we had a gang and we were robbing people, that was they were averaging $1 million a heist.
1.3. Yep.
Sounds like GTA right now.
Imagine like you pull one of those a week.
You're set. You know what I mean? Like you do one and you're like, well, I'm good.
Yeah. Everything back then, it was like, here's a nickel and give me a shot of whiskey.
Right.
Now here's $24. Give me a half ounce of whiskey.
Yeah, it's stupid. It is. So early in 1897, 1987 be funny.
1980s, damn, dude.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson was like, oh my God. Anyway. So in 1897, a group consisting of Bassett, Lay, and Lay's girlfriend, Maud Davis, joined Cassidy at Robber's Roost. The four of them concealed themselves there until early April. During this time, Lay and Cassidy made the decision to send the old ladies back home so they could focus on planning their next robbery.
Bitch, get on home.
Well, they probably got pissed off because they made them dress up like waiters and shit. Like, dude, she's got to go.
See, that's where we're at. It all comes full circle.
Dude, like, your old lady's cool and shit, but I don't want to do that anymore. So their target was a small group of men transporting the payroll of the Pleasant Valley Coal Company in the mining town of Castlegate, Utah. On April 22nd of 1897, they executed an ambush, successfully stealing a sack of silver coins. After the heist, they swiftly fled back to the safety of Robert's Roost. Okay, so they're still knocking off like really big. These are big scores. You know what I mean? Like big scores.
Yeah.
So on June 2nd of 1899, a notorious gang carried out a daring robbery of our gang, should I say, of the Union Pacific Overland Flyer passenger train near Wilcox, Wyoming.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So now they're getting more brazen here. You know what I mean? They're actually taking on like a train. First of all, trains back then were the mode of transportation, and they had gunners on the front and back of it. You know what I mean? Like you didn't go after trains. So this,
yeah, I mean, depends on what kind of mood you were in, I suppose.
Yeah, well, they were feeling frisky, I guess. So this audacious crime catapulted them into the public eye and sparked a massive manhunt. Despite the involvement of numerous renowned lawmen, the gang eluded capture. Following the train robbery, Kid Curry and George Curry engaged in a shootout with law enforcement, tragically resulting in the killing of Sheriff Joe Hazen. Then, well...
You know, how do we know it was tragic? What if the guy was an asshole?
Well, it's still a sheriff, and he was just doing his duty, I think is what they're saying.
I mean, I'm just saying he could have been a fucking dickhead sheriff, one of those like old West guys that like, you look at him funny and he'll throw you in the stocks or whatever the fuck they did back then. You know what I'm saying?
Weren't they all like that back then?
No, I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
how do you know?
It might not have been a tragedy.
Yeah, how do you know?
Might not have been a tragedy.
Well, now we've got the Pinkertons involved.
Okay, see, this is what I was I was looking over at the thing.
Yeah.
I know how you have a hard on for the Pinkerton.
Oh, I love it. Oh, so the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, seeking to bring the outlaws to justice, employed the services of Tom Horn, a notorious killer for hire who was informed by explosives expert Bill Speck about the confrontation that led to Sheriff Hazen's death. Subsequently, Pinkerton detective Charlie Siringo, that name alone, Charlie Siringo, oof. I immediately I hear Spurs. That's all I'm saying. There has to be Spurs. He was tasked with the mission of apprehending the elusive outlaws. As part of his efforts, Siringo developed a rapport with Elfie Landusky, who had adopted the surname Curry after becoming pregnant by Kid Curry's brother, Lonnie Logan. You guys get all that? You guys following
Kid
this?
Curry pregnant, Lonnie Logan. Yep.
Okay.
Somebody's having a baby from some dude. That's all right.
And my name was involved. I don't like that.
Well, she's having a baby by somebody who was a part of the gang, who was the brother of one of the bigger guys in the gang.
Baby daddy was in the gang.
Baby daddy, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Got you.
So Siringo intended to leverage his connection with Elfie to track down the gang. So now he's getting close to Elfie Landusky over here, like, oh, so your baby daddy. Okay. So he's doing his thing to get inside, closer to the gang. We'll call it that.
So Elfie is the girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Elfie, yes. So on July 11th, 1899, which, listen, back then it could have been a guy. Who knows?
Elfie, that's what I'm asking. I'm just trying to make sure I got my shit straight here, dude.
So in 1899, July 11th here, Lay and his associates participated in a daring robbery of a Colorado and Southern Railroad train near Folsom, New Mexico. There are suspicions that the notorious outlaw, Butch Cassidy here, may have been the mastermind behind this meticulously planned, executed heist. The robbery escalated into a fierce shootout with local law enforcement, resulting in the tragic death of Sheriff Edward Farr and Henry Love at the hands of Lay. Okay, so now...
Did you say the word enforcem?
I said maybe, probably. I changed it afterwards. So now the problem is not only are you robbing... whatever trains and banks and stuff like that, but now you're killing law enforcement on multiple occasions.
Which may or may not have been tragic.
Yes. Just saying. So now, anyway, everyone's coming down on him way harder. So subsequently, Lay was found guilty of murder and received a life sentence at the New Mexico State Penitentiary, which is surprising to me that he didn't just take him out back and execute him. You know what I mean? Just,
yeah. They're like 4 stars right now on Grand Theft Auto, dude. That's what kind of heat they're bringing in.
For sure. Yeah. God, when's the new one come out? By the way, does anyone?
A while. I think next year. I think I heard.
So stupid.
Something like that.
Taking forever. So after completing a robbery, the members of the Wild Bunch usually went their separate ways and fled in different directions to avoid capture. They would then arrange to meet up again at specific locations, such as the Hole in the Wall, Robber's Roost, or Fanny Porter's Brothel in San Antonio. Yeah, boy.
What kind of brothel we talking here?
Moving on. Patterson believed that the group likely committed robberies at 4 banks, 4 express trains, and an office handling the payroll for a coal company. Okay, so that's
9. And if they were averaging $1 million,
1.3.
That'd be like 1.3. You say? So that's like $13 million, dude.
Yeah,
that's a couple.
So they're definitely, yeah. And that's why, again, they were so like high profile, because not only are they like they knew which ones to hit to get the big money.
You know how much shit you could buy back in the Old West for that much money, dude?
The Old West.
Everything.
You could buy like, the Old West.
You could,
everything.
Like, I think they made the Louisiana Purchase for less than that.
Actually, I think it was right around that amount.
Actually, a question for the Googles.
Because I'm pretty sure Alaska was bought for less than that.
I mean, that's because it's fucking Alaska, dude.
But Alaska's brought so much.
15 million for the Louisiana Territory.
There you go.
828,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River.
Dude, they could have bought the whole fucking Louisiana Territory.
They could have.
That's fucking insane. That's
they could have,
insane,
and then gone legit and just owned all of that. You know what I mean?
Butch Cassidy land over there. Where you fucking country?
Where you guys going? It's past what's it called? Oh, Cassidy. That's where we're going. Yeah. We're going to Cassidy.
Oh, how big is that? Oh, the other half of the country.
Right, exactly.
Like, fuck me, man.
So despite, this, so Patterson, so talking about Patterson here, who was part of this whole thing or whatever, he believed that that the group likely committed robberies at these banks, right? And all these different places. However, despite, him saying that it's not the only ones, okay? He's just saying he knows for a fact that those are the ones he hit. So there's definitely other smaller ones that were done, right? So
fair enough.
They were quickly accused of being responsible for every robbery that occurred in the Northwest.
Of course.
So now think about that, though. If you're a smaller gang,
yeah, it's awesome.
You walk in there and you go, pew, 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 give me all your, you put that in there. Hey, do me a favor, throw that in the bag. My name's Cassidy. And then you walk off, and then you're scot-free.
You tell him Butch did this.
Yeah, tell him Butch Cassidy was here. You know what I mean?
I'm just picturing like Yosemite Sam.
You filthy varmints. Yeah. So it was Cassidy's meticulous planning that made his robbery so successful. So according to Patterson, quote, little was left to chance. Okay, Butch and a few selected gang members would spend days, sometimes weeks, scouting a robbery site and the best escape route. Wisely, they always chose the summer months for all their holdups when the weather was favorable for eluding posses. It appears that Cassidy also avoided killing. So Cassidy himself was not. That was the other guy, that lady dude that got into the tussle and ended up killing people. Like Cassidy was like, listen, the second you kill somebody, it's like in Bad Boys. We just, they had the cop in there because the second that you kill it was a fake cop. The second you kill a real cop, all the cops are coming after you. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if you got someone dressed as a cop, or if you don't kill anyone at all, then it's not elevated to the extent that it could be, So, so that's smart, especially back then for thinking that way. So all those shots were fired during the escapes. Butch was never known to have shot anyone during a holdup. The closest the closest he ever came to harming a robbery victim was when he used explosives to force his way into an express car. A few express messengers were injured in the blast, but none seriously. The gang always warned them when they were going to use the dynamite, and they were wise enough to protect themselves by hiding behind the cargo. So even then, he's going to blow something up. He's like, hey, y'all, I got a bomb.
You might want to take cover.
You might want to cover your head there.
Can you imagine that, though? Like, he blows it open, and, like, you get hurt, and you're laying there just like, he's like, oh, dude, man, I'm so sorry. Like, we're robbing the shit out of you, but I feel terrible about this.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
is there anything I can do to help? Like, what do you want me to do?
Oh, was Butch Cassidy Canadian?
And then he takes your fucking wallet.
So the powerful railroad companies were soon hot on the Wild Bunch's trail. Pinkerton detective Charlie Siringo, who called Cassidy, quote, the shrewdest and most daring outlaw of the present age, trailed the gang all over the West, often posing as an outlaw to search for the robbers. And remember, this is the guy that got in with the baby mama.
Yeah, he's undercover now.
Yeah, and now I mean, the shit's crazy, dude. This is such an awesome story. So during the events of 1900, a series of violent incidents occurred involving lawmen and outlaws in the American West. These incidents included shootouts and arrests related to train robbery and rustling. The confrontations resulted in casualties on both sides, including the deaths of law enforcement officers and outlaws, like we talked about. The events took place in locations such as Arizona, Wyoming, and Utah, and involved individuals Lonnie Logan, Bob Lee, George Curry, News Carver, Sheriff John Tyler, and Deputy Sam Jenkins. You
know what's crazy to kind of think about? Is like listening to this, you're like, man, that was only 120 some years ago.
Yeah.
124 years ago. Like, that's not a long time at all.
No, not in the whole scheme of things, not at all. Yeah.
Like there's people that were like born when that was happening that just died like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like that's nuts, dude. Can you imagine that shit? Like,
I would love to have been a part of that.
If you were born in 1900 and lived until like you were 100 years old, lived to like 2000, or like you were like 110, you were like fucking 110 years old in 2010. Like you saw everything from the goddamn Old West.
Yeah, like oh yeah,
all the way up to everything up to 2010 or 2000. Like that's incredible.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Like you were born like in a fucking log cabin in the middle of goddamn Wyoming with nothing, and like you died being able to send somebody a fucking email. You know? Like,
yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely it's different to say the least.
It's nuts. All the shit, like all the wars you lived through, all the crazy, like it's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. So now a break for the Pinkerton agents seems to have been the result of one of Cassidy's legendary larks here. In 1900, some of the Wild Bunch was in Texas to visit their favorite brothels and blow off some steam. Why not? They decided to get a formal portrait taken as a joke. Because remember, they're jokesters. They like to dress up like, people that can't pour coffee. So this picture of the Sundance Kid, Will Carver, Ben Kilpatrick, Harvey Logan, a.k.a. Kid Curry, and Butch Cassidy was a rare misstep for him. It said that as a Wells Fargo agent recognized the outlaws when they took this picture, this guy who worked for Wells Fargo was like, I know those guys. So when it was displayed in the photographer's Fort Worth studio window, and then it was soon on all the wanted posters entirely throughout the West. So they went in and got it like, hey, it'd be funny.
Like a glamour shot.
and then that's on their wanted poster now. That is just, it's so ridiculous.
That's like them putting like your yearbook picture on a wanted poster.
It's so ridiculous.
Like your senior pictures or whatever.
Yeah. Now listen, so in 1900, right around 1900, it seems like Butch had grown a little bit weary and was tired of being a fugitive. So according to a lawyer, Cassidy visited him seeking a pardon in the hopes of settling down permanently. Okay, now this is hilarious, by the way. Okay. Upon learning that this wasn't feasible, he expressed understanding, acknowledging the limits of the law. He said, all right, because he went in with like, listen, I'm going to quit being an outlaw, but I want to be pardoned for this. And this attorney's looking at him going, that's not how law works.
I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that one off, pal.
And he's like, well, you know what? All right, I guess I understand. Thank you for your time. So he lamented the perpetual life on the run, remarking, quote, you'll never know what it means to be forever on the dodge, which is an amazing saying. So on August 29th of 1900, Cassidy, Longabaugh, that's a.k.a. Sundance, and other individuals carried out a robbery on the Union Pacific Train number 3 near Tipton, Wyoming. This act broke Cassidy's earlier promise to the governor of Wyoming. So he went in there trying to say, listen, I'm not going to be an outlaw no more. I want a pardon. They said, that's not how the law works. He goes, okay, I understand. And then went out and just robbed a fucking train.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to pardon me. So guess what? I'm going to do what I do best.
Which obviously like even if they were like, oh, maybe we should do that. They were like, well, now we definitely can't do that.
He went back in there. He's like, starting now.
After this next robbery. So the Wild Bunch carried out their final significant heist at the First National Bank of Winnemucca, Nevada on September 19th of 1900. Oh. According to reports, Cassidy's charismatic personality continued to captivate the public even as he orchestrated the meticulous planning and successful execution of the robbery. Quote, one boy, 10-year-old Vic Button, whose father managed the CS Ranch east of town where the outlaws camped, remembered Butch as a likable man with a broad grin. He said the outlaw gave him candy. Button also said that one day when he told Candy, damn, I missed that. When he told Butch about how much he admired his horse, Butch replied that someday he might give it to him. A few days later, Butch kept his word. Following the robbery, as the three outlaws were changing to fresh horses, Butch told the cowboy who had been attending the animal to give his winded horse to the young boy at the CS Ranch.
Is it winded or winded?
It could be. Is it winded? It could be winded.
Winded doesn't make sense.
Okay, so it's winded. Shut the fuck up. You read it.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It could be an old west, like an old timey thing, dude.
Wait. An
old timey thing,
Moody.
bro.
Hey, Moody.
Yeehaw. That's what I'm saying.
So how cool is that, though? It's probably winded. I don't know why I said
just saying. I don't know. Were you around in 1900? Do you know? Maybe winded was a fucking term.
No, but I know someone who was.
Jesus, yeah, chainsaw.
So how cool is that, though, that he's out there and just like, okay, giving candy to someone is one thing, but a kid comes up and goes, oh, mister, I really like your horse. And he gets done robbing something and brings it back and getting ready to jump on his other horse and goes, hey, that one's yours now.
That's like me fucking doing a bank robbery and then giving you the car that I did it in.
Yeah, that's probably fucked up, huh?
It's a little bit.
Hey, kid, don't tell anyone where you got that from.
Seriously. Like you get pulled over the next day, you're like, I didn't fucking do anything. They're like, bullshit.
The kid's just out there.
Daddy, come for me, Daddy.
And then you're in the background. Oh, shit. That poor kid. So maybe it wasn't that nice. So on July 3rd of 1901, a notorious outlaw named Kid Curry and his gang robbed a Great Northern train near Wagner, Montana. They managed to steal more than $60,000, which would be the equivalent to right around $2,200,000 in today's money.
Damn.
That's a good loft right there, buddy.
You imagine like robbing an Amtrak. You're not getting that much money.
No, hell no, you're not.
You get like maybe $1,500.
They're smarter now, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, if you're riding the Amtrak, maybe, I don't know.
Oh.
So following the robbery, the gang split up, but a posse led by Sheriff Elijah Bryant caught up with one of the members, News Carver, and killed his ass. Another member, Kilpatrick, was captured in St. Louis on November 5th at Josie Blakey's resort on Chestnut Street. Upon his arrest, a key to a room at the La Cleda, it's Laclede.
It's La Quinta.
It's not La Quinta, I promise. It's not. It's not. This could be the precursor to it. It's Laclede. So I'm going to say La Cleda.
What is it? Laclede. Sure.
La Cleda? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it sounds pretty close.
Well, it's probably Laclede.
Laclede.
That Laclede hotel. So anyway, when he got arrested, he had this key to this hotel in his pocket, okay? The following day, Laura Bullion was discovered in the lobby of the hotel, preparing to leave with her suitcase. Inside her bag, authorities found $8,500 in unmarked banknotes from the Great Northern Robbery. Robbery?
The robbery.
It's the bibbity bobbity boo. Bobbity boopy.
The robbery.
The robbery. So $8,500 though, and like, could you imagine? That'd be like if you were walking out of some place and you had like $200,000 in unmarked bills.
I don't know where I keep it.
No, neither do you. So stop it right now.
Yeah, you're right.
So meanwhile,
never will.
Curry engaged in another confrontation on December 13th, resulting in the deaths of Knoxville policeman William Dinwiddle and Robert Saylor before fleeing. Upon his return to Montana, he was pursued by Pinkertons again and other law enforcement officers, ultimately taking revenge on rancher James Winters for killing his brother, Johnny, years earlier.
Johnny Winter, like the guitar player?
Yes, his brother Edgar was super pissed.
Yeah. Oh, is that Led Zeppelin?
No. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So in 1901, it is believed that the robbery was carried out to finance a new start in South America, far away from the pursuit of Pinkerton detectives. By the way, I guess real fast before we even go any further, if you don't know what Pinkertons are, they were basically like, they were a part of the law that had, it was carte blanche for them. They could do whatever the fuck they wanted as long as they caught the criminals back in the day. And that, I believe, turned into the FBI at some point, right? Isn't that correct, Moody?
I don't really remember how they're connected, but there's some kind of, I don't think directly turned into the FBI, but it's
either FBI or CIA.
No, it was, remember because we talked about it in the one episode, the Most Wanted or whatever. They like the dude, the FBI or whatever, he stole like all the Pinkertons or whatever for his own, because he was like basically hiring them out.
Yeah, at Hoover. And
then he was just like, fuck this. It wasn't Hoover, it was somebody else.
Okay.
But he was like, okay, fine. And then he just hired them on and like stole them away from everybody else or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was shady dealings. But yeah, they had carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they wanted back in the day. And I mean, seriously, like if you watch old West movies where someone's like, oh, you're deputized, and they just fucking shoot somebody because they have a star on their chest, that was kind of like what the Pinkertons were known for. So they were bad motherfuckers. You did not want them on your trail. You know what I'm saying?
It's also a pretty good Weezer album.
It is a great album, by the way. So during this time, Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, they purportedly acquired land in Cholila, Argentina, using false identities. They established a new ranch where they were joined by Etta Place, who was rumored to be the girlfriend of Sundance. Okay. And according to some reports, the unrequited love of Cassidy. Oh, there's a tryst going on, if you will.
Well, I mean, the one was the LDS guy. So
yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
He's into that whole polygamy thing. Well,
right.
But then he want more women. Not
That's true. Yeah. Well, who knows what's happening back then? This could be like, I don't know, Brokeback Cassidy. I mean, who knows? In his typical laid-back manner here, Cassidy corresponded with his friend Matilda Davis in the United States, providing details about his new situation. So he sent a letter, and it says, quote, "Another of my uncles died and left $30,000 to our little family of 3, so I took my $10,000 and started to see a little more of the world. I visited the best cities and best parts of the countries of South America, till I got here. And this part of the country looks so good that I located, and I think for good, for I like the place better every day." Okay, so now
sounds good, man.
That's where he's at. Sounds beautiful to me.
Sounds like he's having a hell of a retirement.
Yeah. So a pair of English-speaking bandits held up the Banco de Tarapasa. Oh boy.
So maybe not retirement then.
Okay. No. So again, a pair of English-speaking bandits held up the Banco de Parapaca y Argentino in Rio Gallegos. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
in February 14th of 1905. Okay. Valentine's Day.
February 14th, Valentine's Day. All right.
They then disappeared, heading north across the Patagonian grasslands. Concerned
motherfuckers.
concerned that the law enforcement had located them, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, they sold the Cholula Ranch on May 1st. Okay. Although the Pinkerton agency had been aware of their location for some time, their attempts to make an arrest were thwarted by the harsh winter conditions in Patagonia. So apparently it got shitty conditions there. Governor Julio Lezana issued an arrest warrant, but Sheriff Edward Humphreys, an acquaintance of Cassidy and who was enamored, basically dated Etta Place, okay, he tipped them off.
Oh.
So the trio fled north to San Carlos de Bariloche, where they boarded the steamer Condor across Nuel Huapi. Oh my God, these names, which is a lake, and traveled into Chile. They eventually returned to Argentina by the end of the year. Later on, Cassidy, Longaball, Place, and another unidentified male who was associated with theirs, robbed the Banco de la Nación Argentina branch in Villa Mercedes, San Luis province, on December 19th, 1905, taking 1,200 pesos, which is what, like $5, right?
$6.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Anyway, they escaped across the Andes to find safety in Chile. Okay. So on June 30th of 1906, Place, this is the chick that they're both kind of like messing with, decided to leave the life of outlaws. So Longabaugh took her back to San Francisco. Butch, on the other hand, found work under the alias James Santiago Maxwell at the Concordia Tin Mine in the Santa Vera Cruz range of the central Bolivian Andes. Sundance later joined him, and their main responsibilities included guarding the company payroll. Yeah, let's put the biggest bank robbers in the United States in charge of the payroll. That sounds smart.
They might not have known who they were.
They obviously didn't, yeah. So the duo then traveled to Santa Cruz in late 1907, a frontier town in Bolivia's eastern savanna with aspirations of living as respectable ranchers. They're done, right? They're done. We're going to live out our lives down here. That's it. That bitch is gone.
Heard that before.
No, but this time it's for real.
Yeah. Heard that before.
No, but this time it's for real.
Oh, this time.
Right.
Okay.
All right. It's this time's for real until next time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck then.
Yeah. So on November 3rd of 1908, a courier transporting the payroll of the Aramayo Frank and Sia silver mine near San Vicente, Bolivia, was reportedly attacked by 2 masked American bandits believed to be Cassidy and Sundance.
Oh,
so they're
boy.
retired, so
right.
Couldn't have been them.
This time.
Right.
This time.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Starting now, yeah.
Correct. After this one.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I said.
When I meant this time later. Right. Yeah, you guys got it. Right.
Yeah, now I get it.
Right. So the bandits were later seen in San Vicente, whatever, where they stayed at a boarding house owned by a miner, Bonifacio Casasola. My brain's going to explode.
What's with all the Italian sounding
shit? I don't know. I can't do it in Spanish.
Where is this at?
It's in fucking, where did I say? Bolivia.
So I'm saying the dude's name is Vincenzo. Like that's Italian as fuck.
Yeah. And this guy's name is it's Bonifacio.
Yeah, that sounds Italian as shit.
It's probably because the way I'm saying it, because I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like
it's not Bonifacio.
Well, there it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Anyway,
even still, that sounds pretty goddamn Italian, dude.
So his name is Casasola. So he grew suspicious of these two guys due to a mule they had, which was identified as belonging to the Arameo mine. So he sees this mule and he's like, oh, that's a mule they use in the mines.
That's not their ass.
I've seen that ass before. That's a nice ass.
You don't forget an ass.
You don't forget a nice ass. Yeah. So he reported this to the nearby telegraph officer, who in turn informed the Abaroa Cavalry Regiment. Captain Justo Concha led 3 soldiers to investigate, and local authorities were also notified. Okay. You guys follow me here.
Also, I wanted to tell you, 1,200 pesos is $62. So imagine how little it was back then.
Wait, it's $62 now?
Yes, $62. 1,200 pesos.
Can you? Well, that's why they gave up. They're like, dude, it's not worth it down here, bro. So the soldiers, the police chief, the local mayor, and some of his officials all surrounded the lodging house on the evening of November 6th, intending to arrest the Arameo robbers. As they approached the house, the bandits opened fire, killing one of the soldiers and wounding another, and starting a gunfight that lasted for several hours into the evening and the night.
Dude, old-timey gunfights. That shit's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I wish I was back in that time. I really do. No, because I'd probably be dead first.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I'd be dead first. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Well, like that's like where it's just like you got like 30 soldiers outside of a house with like 5 people in it, and they're just like, fuck it, here we go, dude. Breaking out the windows, just shooting it. Like it's just fucking nuts.
All I see is Young Guns.
That's what I'm saying.
The final scene in Young Guns, dude. Oh my God, I love that movie. Logan, have you ever seen Young Guns?
Nope, sure have not.
Son of a... Okay, we're watching that for sure. The second one's okay, but the first one's great.
So good.
Yeah.
The best thing that happened in the second one was the Bon Jovi song, Blaze of Glory.
The Bon Jovi song?
Oh, yeah. That's where Blaze of Glory came from.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Okay. Young Guns too.
That was because back then they actually made...
He was in Young Guns too.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just for a second, he gets shot and like falls over a water trough.
Like right away.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So at right around 2 a.m., during a lull in the fighting, the mayor heard a man scream 3 times inside the house, and then 2 successive shots were fired from inside the home.
Just like, we're just taking a break. Yeah. Like, hey guys, we're getting tired. Is it cool if we like...
Hey, hold on a second. Are you guys tired?
My finger really hurts from shooting at you guys. My arms are tired. We're just going to take a break, all right?
Yeah, we're kind of tired. You guys want to take a break?
Like, dude, if that was like today, there'd be like 6 shots. They'd blow the house up and go in and fucking take them out. There's not hours of gunfighting. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, they're like, we've got water. Do you guys need water?
They were shooting at each other so long that there was a lull in the fighting.
Apparently went all night long. Yeah. So then at the end of this, though, they heard a man scream 3 times, and then just 2 inside the house. Okay. So now this is hilarious. The next morning, they entered the house.
They still waited after all that.
The lull was so long that
they were just like, yeah, we'll
it was
just
the
wait
following morning. They probably all got drunk off tequila and were like, fuck it, whatever, who cares? Now, this is where they found 2 bodies with numerous bullet wounds to their arms and legs. Okay. The man assumed to be Sundance had a bullet wound in the forehead, and the man thought to be Cassidy had a bullet hole in his temple.
Oh, damn.
Okay. The official report from local law enforcement suggested that based on the positioning of the deceased, it is likely that Cassidy had mercifully ended Sundance's suffering by shooting him before taking his own life with the last remaining bullet. Remember, there was 2 shots.
Yep.
Okay. The Topeka Police Department confirmed the identities of the perpetrators as the individuals who had carried out the robbery of the Arameo payroll transport. However, the Bolivian authorities were unable to determine their true identities or definitively confirm their identities. Now, remember, everyone said they were English speaking. No one ever actually said that it was Butch Cassidy and Sundance.
Yeah.
You know, all they said is that the guy saw a mule that he said looked familiar because it came from the fucking mine.
It's a nice ass.
That's a super nice ass. So, in 1991, American forensic anthropologist Clyde Snow and his team searched for the graves of the 2 bodies near the burial site of a German miner named Gustav Zimmer at the San Vicente Cemetery. Despite their efforts, they were unable to locate any remains that matched the DNA of living relatives of Cassidy and of Sundance. And now in 2017, a new attempt was made to find Cassidy's final resting place. The search focused on a mine located outside of Good Springs, Nevada. During the excavation, human remains were discovered, but they did not correspond to the provided DNA.
Got ya.
Okay.
So on top of everything else, that just makes that really even more creepy.
Yeah, it's the
they were looking for a specific person, and then they ended up finding a body, but it wasn't that person. Like, so who the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Like, what the shit, dude?
So now let's talk about a guy by the name of William T. Phillips. Okay. Yeah. So he was an engineer, and he claimed that he was the real Butch Cassidy. Okay, so the theory that a Spokane engineer named William T. Phillips was actually the renowned outlaw Cassidy was widely accepted for many years. This belief was fueled by Phillips' active promotion of the theory, of course, because he's telling everyone, including he wrote a book titled Bandit Invincible that detailed his exploits.
It would be weird if he wasn't supporting that theory. I'm Butch Cassidy, and he's like, yeah, I don't believe that shit for a minute. Though.
Yeah. So the engineers, he died in 1937, and it added to the speculation, although Cassidy's relative Lula contended that he was not the infamous outlaw. Okay, so
why didn't they DNA test it?
Well, it seems that Phillips was not who he claimed to be. Okay, historian Larry Pointer recently found 2 mugshots dating back to the same period in Wyoming, one of Cassidy and one of Phillips. This discovery suggests that the 2 men may have spent time together in prison and that Phillips might have been associated with the Wild Bunch for a minute. But they had separate ones where they're like, you lying sack of shit.
So they had pictures clearly of both of them, and it's obviously different people.
Correct.
Okay, so they didn't need a DNA test.
Correct. So in John McPhee's book, Annals of the Former World, there is it's not annals, Moody. Calm down.
It is.
It's annals.
No. No, it's not.
Well, in this book, there is a fascinating anecdote that Dr. Francis Smith shared with geologist David Love in the 1930s. Dr. Smith recounted an encounter that he had with Butch Cassidy, who claimed that his facial features had been surgically altered in Paris.
Ooh.
To support his claim, Cassidy showed Dr. Smith an old bullet wound, which Dr. Smith recognized as his own work. This intriguing story raises questions about Cassidy's identity and history and adds a compelling layer to the narrative, okay? And again, remember going back to that the one thing that Butch Cassidy did not do was kill.
Kill people, yeah.
He didn't kill, right?
Right.
So he's not going to be sitting out there shooting at people and stuff like that unless he's shooting over their head and stuff like that, but then he's just going to die. But maybe that leads credence to he put a bullet in his own head, you know, instead of killing them because he knew. So Josie Bassett, if you remember her back then, one of his chicks, she claimed in 1960 that Cassidy came to visit her in the 1920s, quote, after returning from South America, and that he, quote, died in Johnny, Nevada about 15 years ago.
That was in 1960? So she's saying that he lived until 1945?
No, he came to her in the 20s.
Yeah, but then she's saying that he died in Johnny about 15 years ago. If that's from when she was talking in the 60s,
in the 20s.
that means
No. She said in 1960 that he came in the 20s, and saying 15 years before that, that he had quote unquote died. So in other words, he faked his own death.
Gotcha.
So that would have been 1905-ish.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so when did these guys in Brazil supposedly die that they're saying?
That was 1908. So 15 years or so.
Doesn't match up.
Well, unless they're using speculatives instead of 15
I guess it also depends on when in the 20s. It could have been late.
Correct. It could have been late. Yeah. It could have been.
That would have changed the timeline.
Yeah, been nice if I had that. Anyway. Thanks for pointing that out. So, residents in Cassidy's hometown of Circleville, Utah, claimed in an interview that he worked in Nevada until his death. Western historian Charles Kelly observed in his 1938 book, The Outlaw Trail, a history of Butch Cassidy and his wild bunch, quote, "It seems exceedingly strange that Cassidy never returned to Circleville, Utah to visit his father if he were still alive. According to his great-nephew, Bill Bettinson, he did return to Utah to visit his family in Circleville many times." So you've got all these contradicting, statements from people.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, let's go back to they did DNA on the bodies that were supposedly shot there, and they don't match DNA to relatives at all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Bruce Chatwin, in his classic travel book, In Patagonia, says, quote, "I went to see the star witness, his sister, Ms. Lulu Parker Bittinson, a forthright and energetic woman in her 90s. She has no doubts her brother came back and ate blueberry pie with family at Circleville in 1925. Now, that would lead credence to the other lady saying that
he saw her in the 20s.
In the 20s.
Yeah.
She believed he died of pneumonia in Washington in the state in the late 1930s. Okay. In an episode of the television series In Search Of from 1978, the possibility of Butch Cassidy's return to America during the 1920s was explored. The show featured interviews with residents of Baggs, Wyoming, a place frequented by the Wild Bunch during their raiding years. According to those residents, Cassidy visited in 1924, driving a Ford Model T.
Oh, wow.
Lula Parker Bettinson, claimed that during this time, Cassidy returned to the family in Circleville and picked up his brother Mark in a Ford before driving to their father's home. She recounted her father saying, quote, "I'll bet you don't know who this is. This is your brother, Robert Leroy." Bettinson stated that Cassidy expressed regret, particularly for disappointing his mother and recalling him lamenting, saying, quote, "All I did is make a wreck of my life." Bettinson further claimed that Cassidy lived out his years in the Northwest and passed away in 1937. The family reportedly agreed not to disclose his final resting place, considering that they had pursued him for the entirety of his life, and now he deserves to rest in peace. The account is also documented in W.C. Jameson's Butch Cassidy Beyond the Grave, referencing the 1975 book Butch Cassidy, My Brother, co-authored by Bettinson and Dora Flack. Okay, so there's a lot of... It sounds like it could be...
His own family is saying that he lived, came back, and then lived out in the Northwest until he died, and they know where he is, but they're not going to say shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
Now...
That's the story I would believe.
I would go with...
Why the fuck would his family make that up?
Yeah, I would. Well, I mean, unless they did write a book. Are they trying to make money out of it?
I mean, maybe, but how much money were they really going to make at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like...
Yeah, when he was stealing...
Well, they were a big deal, you know what I mean? Like, and people love this kind of shit.
I would tend to believe that story over all the other ones.
Yeah.
Just because of where it came from, you know?
Yeah. So on an episode of Mission Declassified from 2019, investigative journalist Christoph Putzel ventured to the Parker Ranch in Circleville to delve into the alleged burial of Cassidy. Local researchers Marilyn Grace shared compelling compelled insights as she and Putzel visited Cassidy's childhood log cabin, located in a remote area of the property known as Tom's Cabin. Is that the cabin you were talking about, maybe? When you looked up earlier?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Thanks. Grace mentioned that Cassidy was secretly laid to rest there and recounted an eyewitness account from neighbor Dee Crosby, who purportedly saw the burial take place. Prior to this, Putzel had interviewed Alta Orton, another neighbor, who vividly recollected the family being attired in funeral-like garments on the very same day. Okay. So again, this is more people leading more credence to the fact that he very well could have been alive.
Yeah.
Grace goes on to say that the cadaver dogs had been brought into the cabin in an attempt to locate remains and led to a positive indication. The underside of the cabin was later dug and 2 bones were discovered, identified as a human spinal bone and a toe bone. Putzel asked forensic scientist Susanna Ryan at Pure Gold Forensics in Redlands, California, to conduct a DNA test on the remains. Ryan confirmed that they were human, but didn't have enough DNA in them for a complete profile.
Oh,
I know,
lame.
right? Another bust. So given that the burial site may have become public knowledge, the Parker family is believed to have since excavated Cassidy's remains at the cabin and moved them to a different burial site, leaving the spinal and toe bones behind in the process. Which, if those are the only 2 bones left behind, I could see someone fucking up and leaving those.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Or they put those there just to keep you off the trail.
It sounds pretty good to me, though, man.
That's possible. Yeah, it is possible. Like, listen, just throw these in there real quick. Well, whose bones are these? Don't ask questions. You know what I mean? Like, so Bill Bettinson stated that his family was aware of the exact location where Cassidy was buried following his reported death in 1937. According to Bettinson, his great-grandmother Lula, Cassidy's little sister, emphasized that the burial location and the name under which he was interred, were family secrets. She mentioned that Cassidy had been pursued throughout his life, and now he had the opportunity to finally find peace in death, and that it must remain that way. So some individuals have made the assertion that one or both of the individuals managed to survive and make their way back to the United States. One of the assertions suggested that the Sundance Kid assumed the identity of a William Henry Long and resided in the small town of Duchesne. Is it Duchesne? Duchesne. Okay, I was right. Woo! In Utah. And he passed away in 1936. And in December of 2008, his remains were exhumed for DNA testing. Anthropologist John McCullough confirmed that Long's DNA did not align with the DNA obtained from a distant relative from the Sundance Kid.
Okay.
Now, I've got something kind of cool here that I want to do real quick, and then we'll talk.
Is it your penis? Is it your penis?
It's not my penis, I promise.
Oh, right.
It's not big enough to fit. Anyway, I actually found an article from a newspaper from, let's see.
The suspense is killing me.
From 1939.
Ooh.
Did you get that from Chainsaw? Did he have it saved?
He had it in his back pocket, actually, in his wallet.
Newspaper?
Yeah, in his wallet, he had it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
He was like the chain on it.
He was like, dude, I heard you're doing this. Yeah, the wallet chain. Yeah, he had that in there.
He's like, I remember when that shit happened. I got the newspaper clipping.
So this is from September 29th of 1939 from the Oklahoma County News. Okay, it says headline: Butch Cassidy of Western Badlands dies of old age. Okay, remember this is 1939.
Right. So they leaned into it, huh? They were like, "Fuck it, this is Butch Cassidy, bro."
So many legends are told of his quick. This is like real. It's actual like newspaper, so it's kind of hard to read. So give me a second here. Many legends are told of his quick shooting, daring, and generosity. Lander, Wyoming. The saga of Butch Cassidy was recalled here when a veteran Wyoming rancher arrived in town with the news that a 73-year-old man named Bill Phillips had died in Spokane, Washington. The rancher, who knew Cassidy well and who had his confidence, said that he knew definitely that the dead Bill Phillips was the Butch Cassidy of pioneer Wyoming days, who built for himself such legends of daring, quick shooting, and generosity that tales of his exploits still survive.
Wow.
The Wyoming Badlands and the Colorado-Wyoming Snake River border, country, were to the gunslinging Butch Cassidy what Sherwood Forest was to the arrow-shooting Robin Hood. Cassidy was known both as a terror and blessing to residents of the Rocky Mountain East Slope during the closing decades of last century. Old ranchmen recall that Butch might have shot and killed a few men and have done it, ambidextrously with a quick draw of either right or left hand if his victims failed to respond immediately to his harsh, quote, "put 'em up, stranger." But he left a good share of his loot at many or a poor family's home in the Wyoming and Colorado ranges, so the legends say. Now remember, as far as we know, he never shot anybody. He never killed anybody.
Right.
So these guys were like, oh, he's a badass, but he also gives his money away to everybody. So let's see. It says a heel plays the eel. But it happened that the supposed owner of the calf, what does that talk about here? Was not that a school of thought. He bought action against the two men. Oh, that's what we were just talking about up there. Okay. Then he says that, this guy came out as Butch Cassidy. If the victim obeyed Cassidy's commands during one of his many holdups, there would be no shooting. But he needed only one false move to shoot a man, it was said. Finally, after many years during which his name had become notorious as an outlaw, Cassidy went to South America seeking refuge. Some tales have it that he was killed in South America's saloon brawl. Okay. But the majority of local epic tellers agree that Butch got just plain homesick and returned under the assumed name. The rancher bringing the news of the death of Spokane's Bill Phillips said that the man died penniless. Nevertheless, tales of buried Cassidy, God, it's so hard to read. Loot still prompts schoolboys in this area to take pick and shovel to dig in out of the way places in hopes of finding a fortune left hidden by the Wyoming Robin Hood. So there is
Yeah, but you know what I find weird about that newspaper article? It says that the locals thought that he either died in a saloon brawl or he went home. They didn't say shit about a shootout at their ranch.
Yeah.
Right.
So what the
fuck? Well, this is from a 1939 newspaper from Jones, Oklahoma. You know what I mean? And they might not have known all the information.
Yeah, they said locals, so they obviously were talking about people that were in that area that all that shit went down. Right?
I know. Right? I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. There's so much conjecture in all of this. I mean, there's still tales like of dude, think about it. The amount of money that they accrued of the ones that we know about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
People believe that there's still a treasure hidden someplace that they left.
Yeah, I mean, most likely. There's no way they spent it all.
Yeah, people were digging for it for fucking ever.
Dude, let's go find it.
Let's do it.
Let's go. I'm down.
I'm not even shitting you.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, let's find it. He's like, my basement flooded again. And let's figure this shit out.
Right, seriously, I don't give a fuck anymore. Let's go.
So what actually happened to the gun-slinging, bank-robbing duo known as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? Were they gunned down and buried in unmarked graves? Did they live out the rest of their lives as kings in a small village? Were they abducted by aliens? Yeah. Well, we may never know, but regardless, it's an amazing story.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, that these guys were some of the, dare I say, best robbers back then and notorious as shit, and nobody really knows what happened to them.
Nope. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, dude. Like
so
essentially they just disappeared.
They just disappeared. They just fell off the face of the fucking earth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now, boys and girls, it's your favorite part of the show, the movie review. Which top 10 movies will make the cut today?
So today in the movies, well, guess what? There's really only one fucking movie that matters. And that's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. All right. It's from 1969. Of course, it's Paul Newman. It's Robert Redford. I mean, they were the two manliest men probably still to today. I mean, the guys they exuded, manliness. It has an 8.0 out of 10
Not
on
only
IMDb.
That, Paul Newman makes salad dressing, bro.
Did you know that he was like what was the dude that died in a car crash back then? That did a couple of movies. James Dean. So you know how James Dean was like race cars and stuff like that in his one car, which I do want to do a bonus episode probably because it's not really a whole lot of information about how his car was cursed and how everybody who ever owned it died.
Yeah.
Paul Newman did that shit, but on like racetracks.
Yeah.
Same kind of car, same kind of whatever.
Yeah,
he was a fucking badass back then.
He did all kinds of crazy shit, and then he made salad dressing.
He did mix and popcorn,
it's
right?
Delicious.
And I was just gonna say popcorn too. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do, because I love doing this kind of shit, is let's talk about some of the reviews from people who have seen the movie because they are fantastic. Yeah. Now, of course, there's 10 out of 10. There's 9 out of 10. There's a 6 out of 10. 5 out of... Oh, let's see what 5 out of 10 has to say. I love this shit. I don't care. Oh my God, there's a lot here. We'll just see what he has to say. Usually, if you find that you don't like a film which has been deemed a classic, you can at least see what it may be that leads people to think so highly of the film. That is not the case with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I don't get it.
Wow.
I'm not seeing what so many others apparently are seeing. I see an incredibly overrated film that is not even remotely worth of the near mythical status it has attained. Whatever it is that supposedly makes this film a classic is well and truly lost on me.
I think there's a lot of things truly lost on him.
Yeah, you're a dumbass. Well, I mean, listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's just some of them are stupid.
Yeah, but that's like I don't know, man. I don't know how you can say that you can't see what makes people think that this is a classic. Like it's
if
you don't like it.
Well, listen, man, like the old saying goes, everyone's got opinions and assholes. They all stink.
That is true. I have a 1 out of 10 star here.
Oh boy. This movie's so old. I don't get it. Why are there horses?
It says 51 years later, I see the world differently. This is from Raglan Road. All right, leaving a review. And listen, this is public shit. So if you guys want to get on there and razz the shit out of him. He said, or she says, I saw this movie in 1969. Then again in 2020. I now see Butch and Sundance as two heartless criminals that rob the poor farmers of Bolivia in small villages that don't have a pot to piss in. Butch and Sundance randomly kill Bolivian policemen that are making $15 a month to feed their families. Back in 1969, this was all a bunch of swell fun as the romantic antiheroes roam the countryside. That's all that he says in this.
So this person is saying that it's terrible. Like, the fuck do they expect? They're bank robbers. Like, how does it hasn't changed in 60 years or whatever it was. It's the same thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And this person just wanted to just jump in and just give their, all right, here's a 3 out of 10.
I don't get.
Overrated Western does not hold up well. I saw this movie when it first came out, like almost 40 years ago. Was it really that long ago? I guess it was. Anyway, wow, he's so funny. Anyway,
I'm already out. Fuck this guy. I'm done.
Anyway, I remember it as being a good movie, and I haven't seen it since. So now I have kids who are teenagers, and so I think, hey, maybe they'd like to see a good Western. Funny and entertaining. So I put it in my Netflix queue, and it finally came up last week, and we watched it last weekend. What?
Is this for when you still had to wait for fucking DVDs from
2008?
Netflix?
2008, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What a disappointment. For the life of me, I cannot understand why I ever liked this movie or how it got the reputation it has. It is simply a bad movie that does not hold up well. What makes it bad? The one attribute I would give this movie is boring, really boring. The scenes just dragged on, and it got so that I just wanted it to end. Like the bicycle raindrops keep a falling on my head scene. What was Hill thinking? If he wanted to establish a relationship between Newman and Ross, the length of that scene could have been cut by, so this guy's now a producer or a director here.
Yeah, his kid said one bad negative thing. Now this movie sucks.
Right, exactly. That's like me showing Charlie
Evil Dead. And then you getting pissed off like, yeah, this movie sucks. It's so boring. And they only spent $20,000 to make this movie.
Wait, so I'm that guy? This guy here? Is that what you're saying?
No, I say if.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If
which, by the way, Moody, she does not like that, nor does she like Poltergeist.
Or Bad Boys.
Well, no, she said Bad Boys is okay.
No, she said Bad Boys 2 was great. She said Bad Boys was meh.
Wait. You've never seen Bad Boys 2?
Have you ever shot a gun whilst jumping through the air?
No, I've never.
Have you ever shot 2 guns whilst jumping through the air?
God, I think what makes Bad Boys 2 better is freaking Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, 100%.
That correlation has made that movie 10 times better.
Which one do you want to watch? Point Break or Bad Boys 2?
Which one first?
Which one do you think I'd prefer? No, I mean, which one do you want to watch first?
And that was after a night out at the bar and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a couple more of these just because I think I love seeing these morons here. So this is a 1 out of 10. The ultimate in a groupthink cinema myth.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is like he's thinking it's mass hysteria why people like this thing. So or
it's because it's a good fucking movie.
Correct. I mean, I saw this when it came out at the theater as a high school kid. Even then, it was boring. Nothing like The Sting, which was a great movie. That was
Sting is phenomenal.
Paul Newman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Good, yeah. Dude. I was happy to be on a date and just glad to be out with my boyfriend. Oh, this is a chick.
No wonder
damn.
she doesn't like it.
Oh, damn.
No offense to you ladies out there.
Your opinion doesn't fucking matter.
It matters, just not to us. No.
Ladies, I'm kidding. I'm just saying, like, typically, like, I wouldn't think that, like, I could tell you right now that I think it's awesome, but I could tell you my wife wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's not something that a woman would be into.
It might be.
Some sure. Granted, I'm not saying, but like,
I haven't met too many women that like Westerns.
Especially back when it first came out, like in the 60s or whatever that was. Like, dude, that women had more shit they were concerned about, trying to.
Like getting rights and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, dude. Like, they're not, of course she's going to be like, this is dumb. Mom should be burning my bra.
Well, she said, so I have good memories of that night, but the movie was the least of them.
My boyfriend's finger was the good one.
Maybe that's why she wasn't paying attention to the movie.
Maybe her boyfriend was the boring.
Yeah, she was getting stuffed in the backseat of a freaking Lincoln or something. Yeah.
She's got the whole thing mixed up. The good memories were the movie. The bad memories was everything else.
Well, she can't say that. She probably married the guy. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So she goes on to say, this movie did fit the zeitgeist of the time perfectly. Anti-heroes equals counterculture. After all, this was the year of Easy Rider, Midnight Cowboy, The Wild Bunch, and many others in this style. Okay, which were all great movies. Yeah. Easy Rider is so good. But Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was by far the worst of them. It was the first Western which incorporated pop culture and music. It was the thing to see in a date. It hit pop culture like a cannon. I remember people dressing up like the characters of Redford, Newman, and Ross and getting photographs and sepia enlargements for proud display. Which sounds awesome to me. I'm sorry. That sounds cool as shit.
You know what this person sounds like? This person sounds like one of those people that just heard so much about the fucking movie and then went and saw the movie and was like, the only reason that they didn't like it is because everybody else fucking
She's a contrarian. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, she's just wants to be contrary about everything. Yeah. So let's see. Lines in the movie were oft repeated, especially perhaps the movie first. Oh, it. Several TV shows were spawned, all cheesy too. Fashion was influenced. Every teenage girl wanted to be Catherine Ross. It's Catherine. She spelled it wrong. I did, and I don't see why now. So she was even into this whole thing, and now all of a sudden she's like, oh, now it's stupid.
So basically, like every adult when they grow up and look back at what they did when they were a kid.
Right. Exactly. Dude,
hers just happened to involve this movie.
Yeah, I used to wear Jankos and well, I also had a time where I wore, Fila's and, wore my pants down to my ankles and, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was just last week.
You were there. Shut up.
He's there too.
All right. So last one here we'll do. All right. This is 3 out of 10 stars. Did I miss something? This is from Gene TI9555 from 2021. So not that long ago. I saw this film when it first came out at the age of 14, and about the only thing I remembered from that time was the big jump into the river and Paul Newman riding the bike with the song Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. After seeing it again last night, I thought, wow, that song doesn't work at all for that moment. Like, where's the rain?
Wow, dude. Wow.
Let's take this a little more literal here, folks.
Seriously.
Then there is the part where they are showing old pictures of them with music playing and no dialogue for several minutes. I'm thinking, what's this all about? Are they just trying to make the film longer? The other thing that really stuck out was in the 27 minutes.
So it's terrible.
Yeah. In the 27-minute chase thing, Redford tells Newman he better think of something quick. The next thing I notice is they are in some sheriff's home. Like, how did they get there? How did they get there? I think I may have blinked my eyes for a second. Did I miss something? Anyway,
this dude was high as shit watching the movie. That's what it was.
Like, come on.
I'm not going to lie. That's how I feel about this podcast right now. I'm like, we're already at the fucking movies. What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, you blink and you miss it, folks. You blink and you miss it. But now I do want to say, okay, I'm going to end this on a positive note, okay? There are so many reviews on here. This is 10 out of 10. So for you that haven't not watched this yet, you know damn well that we're saying go watch it because it's great. This guy says, simply GREAT exclamation motherfucking point. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was made in 1969. It is in my top 10 films of all time. Few movies change our culture. This one did. And even that chick that didn't like it, she said that.
Oh, yeah.
That it changed the culture. Who are those guys? Right. Girls wanted to have fun too, so they pinched the word guys, and now it ain't guys and dolls. It's guys and guys. Oh, why not? Before Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, guys were all males. So in other words, the chick in the movie was a badass as well, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Or this guy's saying. The writer William Goldman delivered a knockout script up there with Double Indemnity and Network. The pure entertainment, which lies at the heart of this masterpiece, is also at the core of why this movie is historically an extremely important motion picture. I have been hearing a remake is being considered. That is a nutty decision if it is true. We should all see this movie. We all need a little dose of perfection from time to time. All of the above may be totally accurate. There you go. So this person right there, she puts it all in a nutshell for us. This is me in a nutshell. You guys know
every time I see someone making like a 3-point turn, I'm just like, oh boy.
All right, so there you go. That is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. Listen, folks, and if you're still listening with us and you're still here, we've had a lot of shit happen, and it seems to just get perpetually worse and worse. I do want to say that I want to thank everyone for their condolences on the passing of my father. He was an absolutely great man, and we'll discuss that a little bit more. I want to do a bonus episode and kind of talk about him and the whole thing that took place and whatever else, just kind of like, kind of memorialize and kind of what went down. It was rough. We'll just put it that way. And Logan was there for 99.9% of it. So it'll be good to have him back on with us and kind of talk about things. So,
yep.
But listen, make sure to stop over to our official website, themidnighttrainpodcast.com. At our website, you can buy some really cool merchandise over there, like the
super sweet
Duker Finger Bum. I'm sorry, some super sweet merchandise.
Super sweet.
There it is. I love that.
I was fucking going for it either way, dude. I don't give a fuck.
You guys, little do you guys know that Moody waits for the entire show just to do that.
Like I wait just to say Bill's name at the very end of this.
Yes, exactly. Like that's exactly what he does. But we do have other shirts coming out. Like we recently just released a few other ones, which are on the website, but a different link because I'm trying to incorporate different ones.
Also, We Never Said When.
We Never Said When is one of the new shirts, and it's freaking beautiful. And if aliens, what is it? What's the alien one?
Oh, fuck. I don't remember.
If it wasn't aliens, it's bullshit.
Yes.
That's it. That's the shirt.
If it wasn't aliens, it was bullshit.
That's it. So if you like what you heard from us, consider being a show producer by heading over to the midnighttrainpodcast.com, clicking on the Patreon button, or patreon.com/the Midnight Train Podcast. For just $5 a month, you guys can get, all the bonuses. And if you want to get some other cool shit in there, there's other different tiers and stuff, which we are changing the tier section up and stuff like that because, things have been super fucked recently. So we're just going to do that. So do us a favor, support the show, get yourself some cool shit, get all the bonuses. More and more there's going to be coming because, there's still a lot to do, but I would say the worst of the worst is over for right now,
Yeah.
So,
I honestly, I'm not going to say I do know because I haven't had to deal with that yet. So I can't even pretend to
it sucks,
but
it sucks. It's probably
I'm here for you, buddy.
I appreciate you, man. It's probably one of the worst things I've ever had to deal with, and I've had to deal with a lot of shit in my life. And we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll do a bonus on it, and I'll kind of give you guys the scoop, especially the the extremely Appalachian scoop that is involved in it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, dude, you have no fucking idea. But you know what? I'm going to save it for it too. I'm going to save it all just so Moody.
You've told me a little bit about what was going down,
but not all. I'm going to show you.
I can't wait to hear the rest of it.
It's crazy, and it gave me a new appreciation for a lot of shit, to be honest with you, man. Yeah.
Civilization.
Yeah. Actually, more so my family. Truthfully,
that's good.
Like my family, like I've always loved my family, like cousins. I've never really been close to my cousins and whatnot, but this whole ordeal has made me realize how important that your family really is. Even if they're extended family, they're just important, and they could be gone in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
So we should all be way more appreciative of the people that are in our lives. So sorry, I'm not trying to bring it all down. And it's the end of the fucking show. Who gives a shit? Do us a favor. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, especially. Get over there in Apple Podcasts. Please review and rate the show. Just get on there, give us 5 stars, and say finger bum. That'd be fun. You know, that'd be a good one.
I like a good finger in the bum. You know what I mean? All right. What?
Jesus Christ.
Dude hasn't said 2 words all fucking episode. That's what he comes up with.
You know what? I one of these days.
Shut up, Moody.
I've been waiting 2 hours to say something. Here it goes.
My favorite thing is that I personally feel that the end of the show is usually my favorite because it's just kind of like we're letting loose. We're done. I don't have to read off a script anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's we let loose. And I feel like most people don't even listen to the end and that they're just missing out on all the fucking gold.
Yeah.
That's where most of our shirt ideas come from is at the end.
Yeah, just random shit at the end.
We cannot thank you guys seriously for all, I mean, personally for me, like all the support and the love and the condolences and everything that you guys have sent. I can't even express to you how fucking much you mean to me. And being here, waiting for us to get back on here and do this fucking goofy ass shit that we like to do. It's amazing to me, and you have my undying gratitude for that. So thank you. But more specifically, to our fearless, let me turn this down before I blow Moody's ears out. To our fearless Patreon producers, our first-class passengers, our poopers, if you will, to Chelsea Benz, Timothy Moore, Jacob Knoll, Ms. P, Cassandra Fuentes, Jacob Peterson, Stoner Babe 69, Tim Karras, Zoe Miller, Tracy Valancourt, Edgar Rodriguez, Jenny Wynn, Riley with no last name, Chris Connors, Amanda C, Micah Purdue, Dale Wells, George DeJesus, Megan McTerry, Amanda Denz, Chris Lucas, Joseph Aramo, Nathan Diegman, Caitlin McKinney, Maggie Brothers, Rick Resler, Miles Campbell, Brian. Fuck. I was going good there for a minute.
Almost made it.
Almost. Have I ever gone all the way through?
Once. Very long time ago in a galaxy far away.
I think you've done it recently, which goes to show that Logan doesn't listen to the show.
Nope. Shut up, Moody. Nope. Don't give credence.
What I'm trying to say is Brian Gunzelman, Pumpkin Escobar, which Pumpkin recently posted something about there's a horror restaurant around here that everyone's going to want to come to.
Yeah, it's been open. It's been open for a while. It's called like the Haunted House or something. It opened up a couple of years ago.
Let's put together a fucking meet up with everybody. You know,
like people. What are you talking about?
Well, I didn't say I like them. Let's just do it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because
I like these people.
Jesse Skelton were talking about it. They were going to go.
Hey, if
you guys go, if you guys come up here and go, let's go.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw my post that I posted earlier today. I finally got around to watching the Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh my God, you saw that?
Dude, it is fucking amazing.
It's amazing.
First of all, Logan's pretending he's never seen it.
Okay, first of all, the cop scene. Secondly, the potato thing.
Yes.
And third of all, the weed whipper. And fourth of all...
Look, anybody can watch highlights on YouTube, bro.
Logan just got hype on that one.
It's like one of my favorite zombie movies.
It is amazing.
So good.
It is amazing.
It's the only one you've probably ever seen.
I've seen Shaun of the Dead and 30 Days of Nuts. That's a high. Never mind. Shut the fuck up. I want to ask you, Moody.
This is why I like having these guys on the show. This is why, because I
love
back,
zombie movies. You ever seen Dracula?
And Moody stopped picking on me for a minute.
Pretty sure there was an undead guy in there. All right, shut up.
Anyway,
he's just really old.
Anyway, it was awesome. I highly recommend everyone watching it, dude. It's so fucking good.
So good.
There's like stoked that you did that,
dude. There's like she actually said something about it. Yeah.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. No, what were you saying, Logan?
Yeah. Who are we talking about? What?
Are you okay? Are you stroking out right now? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, moving on to Janet Sherrill, Chad Flint, Chris McLeod, Justin Kowalczyk, Christina Skelton from the Sister Skelton podcast. We will always miss you. Thank you so much
First time we've ever sidetracked during the
I know.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Jesus.
Out there somewhere, I hope Christina knows that that I got a chance to actually watch that movie, because they used to talk, her and her sister Jessie from the Skelton Sisters.
They used to always talk about it, man.
Yeah, they used to talk about it all the time. So I felt connected to her some way out there, you know. Yeah. So that's super cool. To Maria Gibbs, to Chainsaw.
What the fuck?
To Courtney Batchelor, Katie Barabanek, and of course to our boy, which Katie and Bill came down to the his wife, Katie, not Katie Barabanek, Katie, who is also a really good friend of ours. But anyway,
he's trying to start right now, dude.
No. They actually came to the funeral down in West Virginia. So I just want to give a vocal awesome, thank you so much for being there. It was super cool. And they brought me my gifts from Ireland, which I got some new Connemara, and I got a shirt that I'm wearing right now. I don't know, you guys can't see it right now because we're doing a video.
Calamari from Ireland?
No, Connemara.
Oh,
it's an Irish whiskey.
Oh,
anyway, to our boy Bill Birch.
Oh, good for you. Do we go more Jewish on that? Oh, good for you, honey.
That seems better. So do me a favor, spread the word.
This guy?
And if you want,
you're in a tent.
It's not a tent. Remember, it's a lean-to.
Yeah, it's a lean-to. Come along. Where's that at?
If anything.
Jesus. Do us a favor. Sign up. Become a Patreon producer. Become a pooper. Get your name mentioned on here. Show us you love us, even if you don't. You know what I mean? How could you not, though?
I don't even love me, so it's probably pretty easy.
I don't love you too, so it's fine.
Jesus Christ.
That's fine.
Until next time, remember, keep questioning, keep exploring, and
if it's not aliens, it's bullshit.
No, you fucked up the outro.
Damn it.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop seeking the truth.
I like Moody's thing better. That was good.
Oh, shit. That's so good.
And as always, choo motherfuckers!
I'll go home and get your fucking shine box.
Who the fuck dresses like a waiter for fun?